You ever get that feeling? The one where everything seems perfect until suddenly, out of nowhere, she goes cold. She gets distant. She gets moody. She throws out a comment that stings, then watches your face with those calculating eyes. And you're left wondering, did I just do something wrong, or is this some kind of game? Listen, if you've ever felt like you're walking through a minefield with a woman, every step uncertain, every answer a trap, you're not paranoid, you're being tested. That's right. And here's the truth nobody wants to say out loud. Women test men. All of them. And most men, they fail. Miserably. Let's get one thing straight. She's not testing you because she's cruel, or because she hates you, or because she wants to destroy your confidence. She tests you because she wants to know what kind of man you are. She wants to know if you're a man who stands his ground or a boy who bends the second things get tough. It starts small, a sarcastic jab at your ambition, a challenge to your boundaries, a comment about other men or her ex. You think you can laugh it off. You think if you just ignore it, it'll go away. But she's watching. She's taking notes. Every reaction, every time you stutter, over-explain, get defensive, she's clocking it. She wants to see if you're unshakable. She wants to see if you can handle the storm. Because the world is filled with weak men, men who fold at the first sign of pressure. And women have had enough of that. So they test. They push your buttons. They create little earthquakes just to see if you fall apart. And most men, they do. They get needy. They start explaining themselves. They try to fix her mood, calm her down, make everything okay again. But here's the cold reality. Every time you rush to fix, every time you defend yourself, every time you apologize for who you are, you fail the test. Because what she's really asking is, can I trust you when things get real? Will you hold your frame when I'm at my worst? Or will you break like all the others? Here's the killer secret. She doesn't want a yes man. She doesn't want a man who says, whatever you want, babe. She wants a man who knows what he wants. A man who can say no and mean it. A man who can take a punch, verbal, emotional, whatever, and still stay cool. You know how most men lose? They confuse pleasing with strength. They think the way to her heart is through compliance. They think if they just agree, if they just never rock the boat, she'll love them more. But it's the opposite. She respects you when you set boundaries. She desires you when you challenge her. She craves you when she can't predict you. Every test is a question. Are you strong enough to handle me? Are you confident enough to say what you mean, even if I hate it? Are you stable enough to weather the storm without running for the door? Let me be clear. Most men crumble. They beg for forgiveness when they've done nothing wrong. They over-explain themselves for hours. They become emotional doormats, desperate for approval. And with every failed test, she loses respect. She loses desire. She starts looking for a new challenge, a man who can't be broken by a little turbulence. Why do women do this? Because deep down, she needs to feel safe. She needs to know that when life gets ugly, you won't collapse under the weight. She's testing your core. She's not testing your knowledge or your money or your looks. She's testing your soul. The world has too many weak men. Men who talk big but fold the second things go sideways. Men who can't stand up for themselves, who can't handle a little fire. She wants to know if you're different. She wants to know if you're the real thing. Let's talk about some of the brutal tests women throw at you. She'll flirt with another guy in front of you, just to see if you react. She'll criticize your goals, your dreams, your friends, just to see if you defend them or cave. She'll cancel plans last minute, say something disrespectful, go cold without warning, just to see how you handle unpredictability. If you get angry, jealous, needy, you fail. If you ignore it, pretend it doesn't bother you, but start changing your behavior just to avoid another test, you fail. The only way to pass is to stand your ground, calm, direct, unbothered. To be the man who says that doesn't work for me and means it. To be the man who can walk away if she keeps crossing the line. Because here's the thing. Women respect men who are willing to lose them rather than lose themselves. Read that again. So if you make her your whole world, you fail. If you put her on a pedestal, you fail. If you make her the center of your universe, you fail every test before it even starts. She wants to orbit you, not the other way around. She wants to feel the gravity of your purpose. She wants to know you have a mission, a standard, a spine. Because the man who stands for nothing will fall for anything. That's why most men fail. They think love means losing themselves. They think masculinity is toxic, that boundaries are mean, that saying no is controlling. But women crave boundaries. They crave certainty. They crave a man who will stand up to them, call out their bullshit, refuse to play the games. You ever wonder why the bad boys always get the girl? It's not the leather jacket, the tattoos, or the reckless attitude. It's the unshakable confidence. It's the refusal to beg. It's the way they make her feel safe, excited, unsure. She tests him and he laughs. She pushes and he doesn't move. He knows who he is, and that's all she's ever wanted. Here's what most men miss. You don't pass her tests by playing the game. You pass by refusing to play at all. You pass by knowing what you stand for and walking away from anyone who won't respect it. If she flirts with another man, don't compete. Leave. If she disrespects you, call it out once. If it continues, disappear. If she pushes your boundaries, don't move the line. Enforce it. She'll respect you for it. She might even get angry. She might call you cold, harsh, arrogant, but she'll crave you because you're not like the others. You're the challenge she can't break. And if she walks, let her, because the man who stands alone is always more attractive than the man who chases. If you're tired of being tested, if you're tired of feeling like nothing you do is ever enough, if you're tired of failing, it's time to rewrite the script. It's time to become the man who can't be broken. The man who doesn't need approval. The man whose value is set in stone. Women will always test men. That's reality. But only the men who know who they are will pass. Only the men who aren't afraid to lose will ever win. If you felt this, if you're tired of the games, if you're ready to become the man who never fails the test, subscribe. Not because I told you, because you know it's time. Myself, Matt, signing off for the Closure Club.